Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Shannon, and today we are going to be rereading Magnolia Park's A Long Way Home by Miss Jessa Hastings in preparation for Magnolia Park's Into the Dark to come out this upcoming Tuesday. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not going to say it again. This is a full spoiler video. If you do not want spoilers, click off this video, because this video is specifically to help people recap in preparation for Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. So, I was running errands this morning and I decided to start listening to this audiobook to start preparing. I only got into the 4th chapter, so like I'm nowhere far into it, but it's just, oh my gosh, I'm already like dropping my jaw at stuff that I've been listening to. Just hearing the way that they describe one another, it's like a cosmic love, and I'm just so excited to keep reading. So I'm going to just keep reading right now, and I will keep you guys fully apprised as to my thoughts. It's literally been like 2 seconds since we last spoke, but Magnolia is talking about inviting BJ to her dad's wedding. I'm just gonna read you this quote. So they invited him because I couldn't tell them that actually he is the drain in the center of me where all the happy things fall through, and then I feel his absence in everything. And like, this is my 2nd copy of this book. I have the original cover that has all of my original annotations in it, and so I don't want to annotate this book so that I can have a book to reread without having to move tabs and stuff like that. But it's so hard not to annotate this book because the quotes in it are just on a whole other level. Okay, that's all for now. This video is going to be a lot of me saying quotes. It says, "He laughs, and for some reason it sounds like I'm ringing the doorbell of the home I grew up in." That is all. We are at the lunch party, I think, where Magnolia is meeting BJ's girlfriend, and Julian just walked in, and that his whole storyline with Magnolia is probably my favorite thing out of this entire series, and I'm just so excited to see them interact again because I love him. That's all. Real quick, just a trigger warning for SA because I am about to talk about it. So I just got to the chapter where BJ tells Magnolia that he was SA'd when he was 14, and that was the reason why he cheated on her, and she like just starts sobbing, and he says she cried for me in a way that I never did. And I feel like this is really important, but I feel like after this part in the story, I don't remember it ever really being mentioned again, and I didn't love that, but maybe I didn't pick up on it the first time I read it, so we'll see. Just got to the part where Magnolia was offered the position of the style editor and is now staying in London, and she says she wants to be the first person to tell BJ. I just got to the part where Magnolia just got to their country house, I think, for December 3rd, and she finds the magnolias that he left. He left before she could get there so they could be together on this day. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about if you've read this book. But she was 16. I'm just about to read about this specific part, but when they were in high school, she got pregnant, and they had like this whole plan out of how their life was going to be, and she lost it. They made a memorial to her under this tree at her house with all their initials carved into the tree, and they go there every December 3rd. I am gonna keep reading, and I will update you guys in a little bit. I'm still reading the part about her pregnancy, and obviously something like this, suffering a miscarriage, it bonds two people, And this is the way that Magnolia describes it. She says, "Our parents stood in the doorway watching us, so completely baffled at what was happening and why. How we started the week as two separate people and then came back at the end of it fused as one." It really does make so much more sense at how they are the way they are after learning this, I feel like. But that's all I have to add for now. I know that this is probably the most popular quote from this book, but I have to say it. I'll wear it like a badge of honor forever, that he loved me first, that he loved me at all. I love them so much. That's all I have to say. Don't get me wrong. Magnolia is an incredibly entitled person, but I absolutely love her. Like, she just told all of her family that she's staying in London, and in the same sentence told Bridget that they are both moving out. Didn't ask her, just told her that they were moving out and got a place together. That's all for now. I wish we had a Jonah book because I love him. So he's talking to BJ and basically just telling Beej that he's an idiot. And he says to BJ, "I don't believe in that true love bullshit, okay? That Bronte Shakespearean soulmate. I think it's a thing we say to girls to get laid. But whatever you and Parks have, it's what those wits were writing about." I love him. Something I legitimately have never understood about BJ is his tattoos. Like, some of them are nice, and some of them I understand. But to get dead bees tattooed on you, when you know the significance of that to you and the love of your life's relationship, and then to get a tattoo of something you have called her multiple times, calling her a deer or a doe, how she's his deer, and then getting a tattoo of dead Bambi on your chest when he hopes to one day get back together with her. Like, how stupid can you get? I just don't understand it at all. That's all I have to say for right now. She just saw the Bambi tattoo because it's new, and obviously she's gutted. Like, who wouldn't be? He's so stupid. He's so stupid. So I just got to the part where BJ is trying to break up with Jordan, and she ends up like unloading a bunch of trauma on him, basically, about how her parents are getting divorced, about how her apartment was flooded and she needs to live with him for a month or longer. And I swear, I remember thinking this last time too, I would bet so much money that she did all of this on purpose so that BJ wouldn't break up with her. Because immediately after she started crying about this, she took a picture and posted it to Instagram with him in it about how he's the best boyfriend ever. And I think it was Jonah that said she's using him to become an influencer. And I 100% believe that. Like, she saw this coming and she found a route out of it. But that's all I have to say for now. I do not like her at all. So they're at dinner. One of Magnolia's former boyfriends has made an appearance, and we saw this from BJ's perspective, and it's someone that's like super famous that he like idolizes, and he's just like losing his mind at the fact that Magnolia not only knows this guy but has had a very intimate relationship with him. And I just think it's so funny to see him so jealous because he has a girlfriend and everything. I just love it so much. That's all. I completely forgot this happened. So Jonah is asking her basically her sexual timeline of New York, and she mentions her and Christian, and I just think it's hilarious the way that the table blows up. That's all I have to say for now. Hey, I think I'm gonna take a quick break just because I have some stuff I need to do. I got to page 212, which is about, it looks like 35-ish%, but I will talk to you guys when I either have an update from the audiobook or when I'm back to reading. Hey y'all, it is significantly later in the day. It is like maybe 4-5-ish hours since we last spoke. I don't know that I'm going to read anymore today. I don't think I am, if I'm being honest, because I am starting the 75 hard tomorrow, so I want to get a good night's sleep before I do that. But I think I'm probably going to end up finishing the book tomorrow because my husband is having a guys' night with his friends, so I will have lots of time to read. So I will definitely be talking to you guys tomorrow when I pick back up. Hey y'all, it is the next morning. I have such a big update. So I was listening to the book while I went on my bike ride this morning, and I got to the part where Magnolia tells BJ she loves him, and all he responds with is, "Are you drunk? And why are you telling me this?" And I just completely forgot that this had happened. I was slack-jawed the entire time it was happening. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I was just in a complete and utter state of shock while I was listening to all of this. And they just went to that historic stone place for Tara's birthday with Jonah and Magnolia and BJ. And then BJ is basically like begging Jonah to find a way for them to stay the night in this town because he doesn't want to go home back to his girlfriend. And Magnolia and BJ are currently staying in a hotel room together. And I'm so nervous because I do not remember what happens. I mean, I remember that like hits the fan somewhere in the midpoint of this book, and I'm pretty sure that's why she starts dating Julian, but I'm so anxious for it to happen because I'm pretty sure I remember what happens. I just don't remember the timeline of it all, so I don't know when it's gonna happen. But I'm going to keep listening while I clean my house because today is Sunday, and I always like top to bottom clean the house on Sundays, and it's usually when I listen to a full audiobook. I will keep you guys updated as to everything going on. So just finished getting ready, obviously, and I was right about the timeline. They just had sex, and I am 100% certain that it is about to go to like so bad. And then Julian's gonna come in, which I'm wildly ecstatic for. I love him so much. But that's all I have to say for now. I just got to the part where Magnolia finds out that BJ slept with Jordan the same day he slept with her, and now she's going to find Julian, and I'm so excited. And I'm actually taking a break from the audiobook real quick just to read the interaction that Magnolia and Julian have before it cuts to the New Year's Eve party in Long Way Home. But I got to the part in the audiobook where it is the New Year's party, and Christian says to BJ that BJ sleeping with Jordan was Parks Pearl Harbor, and BJ's like, "What are you talking about?" And Christian just responds by saying, "Hiroshima is coming." And I'm just so excited because I absolutely adore Magnolia and Julian together. That's all I have to say for now. I just finished reading the interaction between Julian and Magnolia that I wanted to from The Great Undoing, and good god, it is making me want to reread that whole book. I mean, it's literally my favorite book ever, and oh my god, I love Julian Hates. Like, all my heart, I love that man. Oh my god. But I'm going to get back to the audiobook and cleaning the house, and I'll talk to you guys if I have an update. It's been a little bit since we last spoke. Julian and Magnolia are still together. It's only been a couple chapters since we last spoke because I was talking to my sister for a while, but we got to the part where they're all at a club together and Magnolia sees Julian kissing another girl, and she like literally walks up to him while he's making out with this girl and is like, I don't care what you do when I am not here, but when I am, I'm all you see. He goes, is that right? And she's like, that's right. And then he says, or what? And she responds with, or we're done. Not that I care. You've wanted me for 4 or 5 years now, so it's no skin off my back. And then Julian turns to the girl and is like, you heard the boss. I don't know what it is, but I honestly think Julian, a gang lord, calling Magnolia the boss, just is absolutely everything to me. That's all for now. Hey y'all, it's been a little bit since we last spoke. I changed because I'm getting really hot while I'm cleaning, and I just got to probably one of the funniest parts in this whole book to me. So Magnolia doesn't like to pee around people for some reason, and so she goes into the hallway of Julian's house at like 2 a.m. and she accidentally runs into someone, and it ends up being Christian. And this is when Magnolia realizes that he just slept with Daisy, and she's like freaking out, and they're having a conversation, and they basically get into like a little play fight in the hallway. And then Julian clears his throat, and they realize that Daisy and Julian have just both been watching this interaction, and I think it's so funny. That's all I have to say for now. It is a little while later. I'm going to take a break from cleaning so I can actually physically read the book, because I know I'm going to get through it so much faster. I just got to the part where Magnolia and Julian have that dinner where the power goes out and he freaks out because he basically body blocks her in case anything is wrong. And then he's like, sorry I cared for a bit, but it's over now. And so she's super confused, and that's just where we are right now. I literally hate Jordan. She's the worst. Literally, BJ is about to ask her to go talk so that he can break up with her, because Julian broke up with Magnolia, and then she literally cuts him off and says to Magnolia that they're going to Italy next week. I just can't stand her. It's so obvious that she's using him for press, and I hate it. I hate her. Oh my god, it's making me so frustrated. That's all. It's literally been like 2 seconds since we spoke. I honestly didn't remember how Magnolia and Julian get back together, because I knew that wasn't it, but like I remember this happening, but I didn't know this was how they got back together. Anywho, so right after Jordan drops that bomb on her, Julian starts fighting a guy in the club that they're at, and Magnolia literally marches up to him, stands on top of a table, and turns his face to hers so that he'll like calm down. And BJ actually describes it in a way where he says it looks like Magnolia is trying to calm a spooked horse, and I just love it so much. And he can like see that there's actual feelings between the two of them, and then he goes and messes it up by using sex as a coping mechanism. Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. We just got to the part where Jordan threw a surprise birthday party for BJ and didn't invite Magnolia. So obviously she goes to have sex with Julian, and afterwards they're laying together. And he says to her, in another life, I reckon I could have loved you. And then she responds, in another life, I would have let you. And I know in Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, we see this scene. And he literally, when this dialogue is happening, he's thinking in his head, never mind that I already love her in this one. I'm not doing great right now. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. At the part where they're all in Italy, because they ended up all going to Italy for BJ's birthday, and Magnolia and BJ are cleaning the kitchen together, and they're talking about what they do to each other, basically. And BJ's like, we could stop. And she's like, how? And he says, you break up with him. You wave the white flag first. And she refuses, and he refuses, and I don't get it. I mean, no, I really don't get it. How can you be so prideful that you will not stop the endless torture that you put yourself in to be with the person you love? I just don't understand. And it's frustrating. But that's quite literally what these entire books are about. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. So I definitely forgot the context of Julian, like, legitimately ending it with Magnolia. I mean, once things started happening, I was like, oh yeah, this is what happens. But, oh my god, I hate it so much because he loves her so much. And I remember reading this scene from Julian's point of view and how he didn't want to do it. He ended up having sex with someone in his office at the club that they're all at, and Magnolia literally walks in on them, and BJ's hot on her heels, and then BJ and Julian end up getting into like a pretty serious fist fight. And I think that's what Julian knew was unforgivable in Magnolia's eyes, was hurting him. And I hate it. Don't get me wrong. I know Magnolia and BJ are the couple that's going to end up together. But if I could change it, I would want Julian to get his happy ending with her. Because weirdly, they're perfect together as well. And I wish there was a way that they could end up together. But there isn't. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll update you guys in a bit. So I'm at the part where she confronts Julian about what happened last night, and he is basically like, you're welcome. I knew BJ would defend your honor. I knew that you would get him because of this. And then she says, did you really do that for me, or is this just a happy coincidence? And then he responds, you know what? I'm embarrassed to say that I've fallen into the ranks of men who find that there's very little that they wouldn't do for you, Magnolia Parks. I love him so much. I'm sorry, but BJ would never do that if Magnolia loved someone else. I'm unwell. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll keep you guys posted. Hey y'all, I'm back to cleaning my house, and I'm listening to the audiobook, and I got to the part where BJ asked her to be friends with him as opposed to being in a relationship because he wants to, like, do it right. And I just love that. He's, like, actually trying to be a better person for her. And basically the deal is he won't have sex with anyone, and she can't have any, like, fake boyfriends. She has to be able to be alone. And they're just working on themselves. Hey y'all, we just got to the part where Magnolia and BJ are, like, doing the friend thing, and they run into Paley. And I get Paley's point that why has she forgiven BJ when she hasn't forgiven her? Because, like, they were best friends. But she also, like, lied to her for the whole year about how she didn't know who it could be that slept with him. I don't know. But that set things back a bit in terms of how Magnolia is feeling about BJ. Because obviously seeing her again brings back the memory and all the hate and all that stuff, which just sucks. And I mean, I know at the end of the last chapter, we got the text exchange of Jonah saying that their mom is in the hospital. And so I know the accident is about to happen, and it's making me so anxious. But I'll keep you guys posted. So they had a fight, predictably, because Julian kind of got into Magnolia's head, if I'm being honest. And was like, if he loves you as much as he says he does, why aren't you guys together? And she basically goes back to Christian's office and predictably, again, BJ walks in and is like, what did you guys talk about? But she just basically goes on a rant about all the stuff that Julian said to her. And he's like, it's not just about you. I do not trust you. And now she's pissed about all this. And she's talking to Bridget about it. And I literally know what's about to happen because Julian just called her. And I know she's about to get hit by that unmarked car. And I'll talk to you guys in a bit. It's literally been like 2 seconds since we last spoke. But they got in the accident. And it's much worse than I remember it being. So basically, they get hit from behind by one car, and it knocks them into the opposing lane of traffic. And then another car comes right at the driver's side by Magnolia. And she literally describes metal wrapping around her. And how, like, everything goes quiet. And she starts talking about, like, how many loves you get in a lifetime, and she starts talking about him, and clearly I'm not doing great. And then there's also the fact that I know that Julian watched all of this happen, and he never even got to find out she was okay before they shoved him on a plane. I think I'm gonna move to the physical book for the rest of the time, just because I don't think I can listen to this being said and not have a mental breakdown. So I'm gonna pick up the physical copy and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm reading BJ's point of view, obviously, right now, and he just keeps talking to Henry about how if he loses her, and Henry just keeps being like, you're not gonna lose her. And then he says, just the way that this is phrased wrecks me. It says, my mind waterboards me with memories of her. And there's nothing more to say right now. So I'm gonna talk to you in a bit. So I realize my mascara is running, but that's just gonna be a continuation for the rest of this video. So she just woke up. And Bridget, Magnolia's sister, obviously, Magnolia asks Bridget if she was hurt in the car accident, and Bridget shakes her head, and Bridget says, your side was the one that got hit, and then Magnolia says, I'm glad. And then in BJ's thoughts, he says, she means that too. She'd die for her sister. And it's just hitting me a lot harder because I know what's coming in the next 30 pages. I'm gonna talk to you guys in a bit. BJ just proposed, and obviously she said yes. And I love that when he knelt down, she kneels down with him so that they're on the same level. I love that. I'm just so happy, and I know it's gonna be shattered in like 20 minutes, but I'll talk to you in a bit. So they told everyone they're engaged. They're currently looking at the apartment BJ bought, and I'm sure that this was foreshadowing, and quite frankly, I don't appreciate it, because Bridget says, I can't believe that you two idiots finally sorted yourselves out. Never thought I'd live to see the day. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I wish so badly that we could have a Henry perspective in these books, because it makes my heart shatter for him when he's talking about how Jonah broke things off with Tara, and BJ's like, that's good, right? You guys can be together and figure it out. And Henry just responds by saying she never actually made a choice. So if they were to be together, he'd spend the rest of his life wondering if she would have picked Jonah. And it just makes my heart break for him because he is the sweetest boy in this whole series. I literally love him so much. And I just want my baby to be happy. Okay, I'm sure I'll talk to you guys in like 5 minutes because I know what's about to happen. So, just finished it. I literally knew it was happening. I knew it was gonna happen. And I still don't really understand what happened with Bridget. Now rereading it, I saw that she was mentioning that her head hurt and that she was gonna lie down, and I honestly think what happened is when they got in the accident, Bridget didn't even get checked out because she wasn't visibly damaged, and she must have had some kind of head trauma. That's the only thing I can think that would be that delayed of a reaction, is just something that continuously built. And then she died. And I remember, because I'm a part of the Jessa Hastings, like, Magnolia Parks group chat on Geneva, and I remember months ago she released an excerpt from Into the Dark, and I was sobbing from that alone. And I'm so scared to read this book. Like, I don't think I can articulate it properly. It's a 720-page book. I think this is the longest Magnolia Parks book, and it's like 580 pages, so 720 is a pretty big jump for this series, and I'm so scared. I could honestly probably get sick thinking about it. Obviously there's gonna have to be some major conflicts happening in this to keep it this long, but I did finish the book, which I guess marks the end of this video. I sincerely hope that you guys got what you needed to from this video, that it helped recap this book for you guys before going into reading Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All my social media is linked down below for you guys. Make sure you turn on the post notification bell so you guys can get notified right when I post a new video. I hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.